Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. One of the most important things that you can learn as a homeschooling parent is to learn to plan for those days when you know that you're going to have a lot going on, but you still want to make sure that you get some homeschooling done. And so today I wanted to share with you the Bare-Bones Homeschool Day. It is amazing to me how often things come up on the days that we should be doing our homeschooling, that we have our homeschooling planned, and there's just no way of getting around it. Whether it's doctor's appointments, whether it's dentist appointments, whether it's family coming over, grocery shopping that has to get done, extracurriculars, there are so many things that can be happening throughout the days, and very often it seems to you like you just don't have time to get much of that homeschooling done anymore. And you know what? If these things are happening, just very, very rarely, sometimes, you can just say, all right, we're just going to take the day off today. But, if these things happen pretty often, and in our family they do, I've got a lot of kids. That's a lot of appointments. So, sometimes we can't just say, all right, let's just scrap the day. That's when we bring in what I call a bare-bones homeschool day. Now, first of all, I should point out that when we first started homeschooling, and actually for the first several years of homeschooling, when I knew that we were going to have appointments, I would not plan any differently for that day, and I would just end up trying to cram as much homeschooling into that day as I possibly could. And it was very often stressful, everything felt rushed, and there just wasn't that quality of learning that I wanted to see happening in our days. So what I've really begun to do in the past several years is I have started to actually plan these bare-bones homeschool days into our schedule. And you obviously can only plan these into your schedule when you know that something is happening. But, it's good to have a basic framework of what you want to do on a bare-bones homeschool day, so that if something unexpected does happen, you're not panicking, you're not trying to figure out what you're going to cut, what you're going to do, but right off the bat, all right, this is what our bare-bones homeschool day looks like, and you just go from there. So today, I just want to share with you some ideas on bare-bones homeschool days. I'm going to share with you how we do bare-bones homeschool days. And afterwards, I'm going to share with you why you don't need to worry about bare-bones homeschool days. Your children are not suffering educationally from them. Yes. So the way that we do bare-bones homeschool days, if I know that we have an appointment in the afternoon, what I will usually do for our bare-bones homeschool day is we will do our read aloud. Read aloud is always a must for our homeschool day. Like, that is really central. So yes, we will do read aloud. We will do those unit study activities. We do 2 each time. My kids will do spelling. All their spelling is 3 times each. So that doesn't take like a really long amount of time. And then they will do math drills. That is our bare-bones homeschool day. And then in that way, we can easily get done before lunch so that we do not have to rush to get ready for the appointment after lunch is over. Now, there are times when we have an appointment maybe before lunch, but we have enough time to at least get something done. And on those days, I will really stick to a read aloud. And you don't have to discount read alouds as a quality form of learning. Read alouds can be a fantastic way for your kids to learn. My children and I, we just finished Carry On, Mr. Bowditch, and that is just filled with history. It's filled with science, and you know what? It's just a good story for you to share with your kids. So sharing a read aloud with your kids, if you have a really short day but you still want to get something done, a read aloud is a really good option. So the third thing that you could do for a bare-bones homeschool day is some people prefer just to stick to the 3 R's for those days. So you would do reading, you would have your kids do some writing, and you would have them do math. And that is what they prefer to do for their Bare-Bones Homeschool Day. That is definitely another option. And I'm giving you these options just so that you can have some ideas, because again, it is so important that you have a plan like this already put in place so that you don't panic when things happen and you can't do like a regular school day. Another way that you can have a Bare-Bones Homeschool Day with your kids is by letting them do interest-led learning for the day. Maybe you could have them study something that they find interesting and they can do some notebooking on it, or they could watch a documentary about something that they're interested in. Sometimes you could also have them notebook on that, sometimes not. It's up to you. You could have them do hands-on activities. Sometimes your kids might like to watch some YouTube videos of science experiments, and they might try to do those sorts of things at home. You could even keep, we have so many science experiment books in our own personal library that is about including just things from around the house, things that you have in your kitchen for fun science experiments. So that's another idea, is just to have an interest-led day of hands-on learning, maybe notebooking, maybe reading, maybe documentaries. It's all up to what your kids want to do. Another idea for a Bare-Bones Homeschool Day is just to do a short nature study. Depending on where you live and how much time you have, you could always take your kids out, get some fresh air, relax a little bit, take a nature walk, have them collect some leaves, some pine cones, maybe take pictures of flowers. But yes, there is so much learning to be found out in nature that, again, you don't need to feel like you're shortchanging your kids. And you know what? Taking those walks with your kids can really start some great conversations with them. And so the last way that I thought of, you might think of your own, is just to have your kids watch a movie, maybe a show, maybe a documentary. For example, if your kids just got done reading the book Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief, maybe they could watch the movie Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief. My kids, as for shows, they really like the Magic School Bus. They really like the Who Was show. Do your kids have any shows like that that they enjoy? Or documentaries, or I could even say YouTube videos. My kids really enjoy Brave Wilderness on YouTube, and that's mainly about animals. Like, he goes out in the wild and he finds like insects and mammals and reptiles, and my kids love to watch things like that. Sometimes they like to watch the animal documentaries that they have on Netflix. But again, this is just another way that you can make sure that your kids are they're being stimulated, they're being engaged, but you don't need to worry about rushing through a typical day of schoolwork. So this is when I'm going to start talking to you about why you don't need to worry about these Bare-Bones days. I know that a lot of people just have this idea in their head that learning has to be done for a certain amount of time each day, and certain things have to be checked off, and it has to be done a certain way. And I am going to reassure you that that is not the case at all. If you think about it, the reason that Bare-Bones Homeschool Days have to happen, the reason why they're even necessary, is because life is happening in the midst of your homeschooling. So if your kids need to stop school early for the day because they have an appointment, you can bet that they are still going to be learning, whether it's from that appointment, whether it's from errands that you have to be running, whether it's from the people who might be coming to visit you. And even if it's something where you have to maybe leave your kids at home while you leave, if you have an appointment for yourself and it's not something that involves your kids will still see how it is that you as the parent will handle these different situations in life. And they, that's something that is not taught in schools, just like regular life skills, how adults live life, how they do things. Kids need to see this. And, I don't remember who it was that said it, but I love the saying that if your child is awake, they are learning. And you know what? You can bet that that is the truth. My kids have come up to me and told me things that they learned from the weirdest places, but it has only confirmed the fact to me that it's true. Your children will learn from every situation that they are in, and you, as the homeschool parent, don't need to stress yourself out about it. Anyway, that's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one over on Instagram because YouTube always disables my comments. And if you like my work and would like to check out my Patreon page, I will leave that link in the description box as well. And today I would like to give a shout out to another Patreon patron, Corey. You are another patron who I'm pretty sure has been with me almost since the beginning of my Patreon account, and I just want to say thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it more than you could possibly know. And that's all. I hope you all have a great day.